Hiya folks, how's it going? I'm Lexi, and here on the gaming table we review a tabletop game once a week, every week. If that sounds appealing to you, I encourage you to subscribe and keep watching. Before starting today's review, I want to give my thanks again to gumnut.com. No, they haven't sponsored the channel in any way. I just want to thank them because today's episode wouldn't have happened without them. I was looking for a copy of this game everywhere and I couldn't find it, so I reached out to gumnut.com and asked if they would be able to get it in for me. They've done this in the past for a couple of games I featured on this channel and they came through for me again. So if you live in Australia and you are looking for a game and it's a slightly harder to find one, I highly encourage you to reach out to the lovely folks at gumnut.com. They've been a fantastic help to me. Today's game was originally published in Japan and was translated into English in 2015. So let's talk about Ryuutama, natural fantasy roleplay. The world of Ryuutama is a loosely pastoral fantasy. This world is actually a pretty new one, time-speaking wise. People in this world often get the urge to travel. Perhaps they'll travel for a short while and then settle down, or they might find a job that allows them to travel for the rest of their life. You can meet all sorts of folks on the road. There isn't actually a strict setting chapter in this game manual. Most of what you learn about this world is scattered throughout the game manual, and it more lays out the general principles for what a game in Ryuutama is going to feel like. The land of Ryuutama was created not long ago by 4 dragons. One for each of the major seasons. These dragons then created other dragons, generally one for each type of weather, and they are scattered around the land. A detail I really love about the world of Ryuutama is that along the major roads and walkways you can often find dragon statues. In the stone hand of the dragon is often a walking stick. If you, a weary traveler, need a walking stick in your time of need, you are welcome to take this stick and use it on your journey. If you come across a dragon without a stick, people are encouraged to leave theirs behind for the next weary traveler. Some of the items and spells available in this game also give you an impression of what this world is like. You can buy hats that are cute, smelly, or sturdy, for example. Spells can be offensive attacks, but they also can be really lovely little things, like a spell that makes rations taste delicious and provides a small little buff. While the world on its surface might appear like a generic Western fantasy, many of the items and the world of this game are inspired by Japanese fantasy, folklore, and puns and idioms. I really like that you get an impression of this world through glances through the text. Rather than mapping out every single place or thing in existence in this world, the game masters of this game are allowed to have a little bit of freedom and creativity in what their game of Ryuutama is going to look like. In Ryuutama, you use a set of polyhedral dice. The better you are at something, the bigger the die you use. Your attributes are strength, dexterity, intelligence, and spirit. Most of these are self-explanatory, except for perhaps spirit. Spirit is kind of the force of will that a character has. The better you are at one of these attributes, the higher die that you will roll. For most tests, you will generally roll up to 2 attributes and add the result together and compare it to a challenge number set by the game master. I just want to really quickly run through the class options in this game because they're really cute. There are minstrels, merchants, hunters, healers, farmers, artisans, and nobles. The game master also gets to play a character. They are the Ryujin, which is sort of the spirit of adventure in the game. Sometimes the spirit of the adventure needs to take a break in narrating to come and help the heroes of the game out. I also really like that each class in this game comes with its own unique set of skills that sets them apart and no other class can really have. For example, merchants are pretty much the only character that is really good at bargaining all the time. It's their job. The minstrel, because of the nature of their job, traveling to play music, is actually one of the character classes that is best at outdoor skills and travel. A mechanic in this game that I am kind of obsessed with is how this game calculates experience. Sure, you can gain experience by fighting a monster each session, but the main way your game encourages you to gain experience as a player character is through travel. The main bulk of experience is directly calculated by the topography that characters travel in a day. So that's a combination of terrain, distance, and weather conditions. I think for a game that is about traveling and the spirit of adventure, that is a fantastic way to calculate experience that isn't just combat-based. If with this experience you would like to improve your character, you can do things like upgrading one of your skills to be one of those higher dies, up to a D12, or you can use it to improve things like your health points or your magic points. This game also has a pretty decent combat system, should push come to shove. This game is generally conflict avoidant, but sometimes in fiction you can't avoid having to butt heads with something or someone eventually. Maybe I just really love the battle map used in this game. It's egg-shaped. The shape helps indicate who is in the thick of the battle and who's on the outer. There's also magic in this game. It's not really restricted to classes, but anyone who wants to use magic can gain magic points and cast spells. Generally, you'll also choose a particular season of magic that your character will specialize in, such as summer, autumn, winter, or spring. I really love Ryuutama. This is probably going to be one of my top recommendations for a fantasy tabletop role-playing game. I didn't get to cover all of them, but I really love how this game has a lot of mechanics for travel and a lot of things that can happen to your characters on the way to places. This game is, I'd say, moderately crunchy, and if you're looking for a lighter experience, they do provide a lot of alternative rules that allow you to handwave some of the more complicated stuff if you like. I happen to really like the complicated stuff in this game though. I also found this game pretty easy to explain. The world of this game is also extremely charming, and that's really conveyed through the artwork, which I think does a lot to convey the tone and the world of Ryuutama. If you just like pretty role-playing game books, then this is a great one to look at. If you are looking for a fantasy tabletop game about the journey, not the destination, then this would be a fantastic one to pick up, especially if the semi-sweet tone is for you. A copy of Ryuutama can be found on the Indie Press Revolution website for $40 US. It's clearly very popular there, as it is on its 4th print run at the moment. If you're in Australia, I highly encourage you to ask Gumnut for a copy. Mine didn't cost more than what the equivalent of $40 USD would be, and they've done a lot to help me out. I don't know, maybe if you tell them that I sent you, they'll finally offer me a discount. So those were my thoughts on Ryuutama. I, in this review, chose to highlight just some of my favorite mechanics, but I really encourage people to have a look at this one for themselves. There's a lot of fun choices made in the mechanics here that I think really convey the tone of the game well. I could have talked for a lot longer about this one. If you already know about Ryuutama, feel free to tell me what I missed or what your favorite thing about the game is in the comments down below. If you haven't, feel free to tell me whether or not you think this would be a game for you. All engagement is actually really good for getting these videos boosted. I also encourage you, while you're down there, to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, maybe share with a friend. I also have a Ko-Fi page where you can fund my crippling tabletop addiction so I can bring you more reviews. Or you can just check out what I'm up to or see some behind the scenes shenanigans. I hope you're all well, and I look forward to seeing you next time at the gaming table. Bye!